Welcome to Quack Co, the board game channel where every video is 10 minutes or less guaranteed.
Or double your money back.
And today we're talking about
minis.
Miniature options, tokens, standees, acrylic, metal, all of the different components that go into them, and how you potentially make them nice versus make them things that are convenient, make them things that are cheap. And really, this is a Monday Musings episode. This is where we have an opportunity to sit down and have a conversation with you, the audience, to learn more about what you're looking for, and to have conversations and debates that we have in constantly. Our own private life. So the options that we have here, Wes, do we want to go through the skew that we've been able to come up with in terms of things that publishers could consider doing when making a board game? And
let us know if we missed any, but I think we hit all the major ones. We've got your traditional standees. There are cardboard pieces. They sit on little plastic bases. They are what they are. They're the board game standard. Then there's the upgraded potential of maybe doing a chip like Chip Theory Games does for your designs, which are really innovative and cool.
Yeah, not a lot of companies do flat level chips, but for this, they really are representing the actual game characters. Through them.
Which is really cool. There are the kind of sort of new in the hobby acrylic standee versions where you're actually taking the paper standee, printing on one side and allowing it to be see-through and be more of a tactile, interesting feel to it. We have the traditional grayscale plastic minis, things that are really unique and very common now, but they're part of the, the Ameritrash version of games, or the more minis you get, the better the game can be, theoretically.
Piles and piles of minis.
And then there's the question of, do you take the grayscale or do you upgrade to Sundrop, which some places do amazingly well. Usually it's something like this, but sometimes with Awakened Realms, they go a little extra and do colored Sundrop, which, my gosh, that's just amazing.
Even Sundrop with extra plastic pieces and a glint.
Oh, it's incredible.
Needless to say, this side of the hobby is getting more and more ridiculous as time goes on.
And then there's the new boy in the market with the brass minis, the scaled minis, which these actually have pieces underneath to fit with the chips from Chip Theory Games. But I believe also Scythe has them for the mechs that go through. And then there's the if you're extra.
We have the option of doing your own thing. This is what this represents. Now, this is a bronzed Kingdom Death Phoenix.
And the only one in existence.
Which is custom requested and custom built. This is something that I did to upgrade my copy of the game. But I would also include hand painting your miniatures.
Also true,
I would include cutting out your own standees. Whatever other options, whatever other alternatives you have to doing something cool. So from this lineup, from this skew, you were saying that there are only a few that you want, period. So let's go through and talk about them from what we think is the lowest quality all the way up to the highest quality gameplay experience. And then I also have a little bit of insight from a publisher side as to why they do and don't do certain things, like skew certain things. So the lowest quality, I think, without a doubt,
or standee
is going to be standees. However, there are some amazing games with standee options, like Gloomhaven.
Gloomhaven, exactly. They are only standees. I mean, they've recently made the miniature version where you can purchase the miniatures as an extra pack, or people have STL files to create the miniatures and you can print them yourself. But this is the most common.
Glowing advantage of standees is twofold. First, it allows things to be compact. And if you're working with limited space, if you want a game that is so big, as big as Gloomhaven or Frosthaven, but contained within a box that doesn't take up 16 pallet shelves, this is realistically what you're looking at. And that is a big advantage. And then on top of it, for smaller print runs, cardboard from a publisher side is more cost effective.
Oh, big time.
However, that does change at certain degrees of print runs, which we'll talk about in a bit. But cardboard's more cost effective at lower print runs. And then finally, you get artwork. You get the actual aesthetic, you get the actual design of the game displayed on these cardboard standees. And that's pretty nice. That actually adds quite a bit of value, if I'm going to be honest. But we think that's the lowest of the low.
Yeah, lowest of the low. Next level up, in theory, from there, is going to be turning these cardboard standees into the acrylic standees.
In theory.
In theory.
But in application,
these two are the same.
It's going to be the grayed out miniatures are the next level up from the actual cardboard standees. Do you prefer cardboard over gray miniatures? I can see an argument going both ways. Some people love the actual physical nature of this, but the lack of color, the lack of any type of wash on top of it, and the amount of space they take up, I understand why people lean towards cardboard from time to time.
Yeah.
Now, when the production run gets high enough, these become more cost-effective than any other product on the table. The reason being is because you create a mold, then plastic is cheap, and so you're just able to inject and keep doing. So if you're ordering, I don't know how big a SKU is, but like 50,000 copies of this or something like that.
But that really,
this becomes cheaper than paper.
But that really only works if the molds are the same. So like in Zombicide or something like that, where you've got 7 or 8 of the exact same piece.
In
theory,
if molds are the same, or if production SKUs are high enough.
I suppose.
Again, at a certain point, the cost does transfer to where just creating more of the same mini is cheaper than adding more paper. Paper is a more valuable resource than plastic, but only when done at a high level, because the mold itself is the expensive part of the creation.
Right.
Whereas this just has a higher cost.
You just have to create the die to punch.
You have to get past that mold line, right?
Right.
And then acrylics. Acrylics are something new that publishers are doing more and more. I really like acrylics.
As do I.
I think I love the combination of the plastic, like, tactical feel, but also the artwork. However,
and
acrylics,
you can see through them in a lot of ways.
The problem with acrylics is they have neither the cost effectiveness of cardboard at lower SKUs, or the benefit of being cheap at higher SKUs.
Because literally someone's job is to stand there and paint every single acrylic, as far as like with a roller type of thing. Yeah. It's something that has to be done there.
And so acrylics right now are not more cost effective in any shape or form. If a company's doing acrylics, it means they're going out of their way to spend more money to improve the quality of what could be a cardboard standee. And so, out of those three, because that's really the start of this conversation before we get into the crazy stuff.
Right.
What do we prefer, and what do we... You only want 2 out of this. Is any of these 3 in that camp?
Yeah, one of them.
Okay, which one?
Acrylic. I want acrylic all day long. I like minis. I think they're interesting.
Yeah.
If you're talking about this, though, I don't really want your grayscale minis anymore.
Really?
Maybe I'm skewed in that, but if it's not this higher end version, I don't want a mini. I'd much rather have an acrylic standee. Vagrant Song, which is a game that wasn't a huge hit for me. It was a great game, don't get me wrong, but the fact that those acrylic minis were in there, and that was an opportunity for me to see how well it worked on a game board, I was sold all day. I don't want anything else. The fact that a big, huge game can have tons of minis inside of it, but still be a real good compact space, that was all day for me.
Yeah, if I was going between the 3 of these, I would also choose acrylics. I just would. I think the quality of them and the art aesthetic, because I'm never getting around to painting these, which is sad. Now, we don't have too much time left, but let's talk about the last few categories. Chip Theory Games solution. Is this a good solution?
I think it's a really cool solution, and because it's my lifestyle game, I can't say anything other than yes, I want all of them.
I find the stack of chips that you have with all the health chips and stuff a little bit bothersome.
It's satisfying.
But I like that solution. Metal, in terms of like the brass mag minis,
perfect.
This is the most satisfying ever, period.
Yeah,
the details are sharper, the wash on them is excellent, the weight of them is amazing, and the fact that they magnetic strip to their own base, this is the premium of the premium. I will spend whatever money you ask me to purchase this, but the reason why companies don't do this is because there's almost no profit to be made in it.
It's insanely
the cost of metal,
expensive.
the cost of shipping, the cost of the weight, the cost of the molds, they never recoup this. It's the same with metal dice or metal coins. What they would actually have to charge the consumer is above what the consumer would reasonably pay. And then let's talk about actually getting minis washed. Awakened Realms introduced the idea of sun-dropped. Does that take acrylic's place if that's an option?
There's an argument to be made, but I would still go with acrylic over wash most of the time.
Really?
Yeah.
For me, I think washed does take acrylic's place. I think this is the most premium for me. I always want this.
Yes.
But then stepping down from that, I think washed sun-dropped minis are next. And then the final part of it, the conversation, is just a question for you.
Do you do insane stuff?
What other crazy ways do you deluxify or solve the question of minis? And what do you personally prefer? Rank them down below. Let us know. Either way, we'll see you next time.